There's so many different ways that you can monetize a podcast, and today we're going to be talking about paywalls, exclusive content, premium content, and I'm going to throw a bunch of ideas your way so that you can start doing this for yourself. And guess what? It is all for free. It's just free information that's out there that I put together for you. So if that sounds good, let's dive right in and get started. Well, if you've been on the internet for any amount of time, you know that premium content is basically the exchange of cash money for services such as bonus content, exclusive access, etc. When it comes down to a podcast and people trying to figure out how to do it for themselves, it can be a little tricky, especially if you don't know where to get started, and that's the goal of today's video. What it really boils down to is being able to provide value for your audience. If you don't provide value, then you can't expect people to spend any of their money on your show. How do we go about actually providing value? What is it that your show has to offer that's different from all the other shows out there? And why would somebody spend $5, $10, $15, or even $20 a month to hear you talk? All right, let's fire up the computer here and take a quick look. We've got interview podcasts, true crime, educational, how-to, news, politics, and comedy podcasts. So we're going to ask ChatGPT what it thinks. And we're going to talk about this interview-style podcast, and we're going to ask it to come up with 5 methods of providing paywall-style content. So we've got bonus episodes and extended interviews, not bad. Ad-free listening and early access, exclusive questions and answers, and Ask Me Anything sessions. You can offer this in the form of like a Discord server, invite-only type stuff. Premium community and member perks. So that's the Discord server, Facebook groups and pages, Slack or Patreon, where subscribers get access to behind-the-scenes content, guest recommendations, and personalized shout-outs, exclusive resources and show notes, such as transcripts and deep dive research. Now let's go ahead and come up with a few ideas for true crime. And we're getting exclusive deep dives. That could be bonus episodes with extended details. Maybe it's something that wasn't covered in the original episode and you're doing like a follow-up. Now let's take it in a different direction where we look at something more like stock market and news-based items. So I run a stock market investment style podcast where I interview different guests around stocks. We also talk about crypto. How would I come up with 5 methods of providing paywall style content for my show? Think in terms of news, timeliness, and getting in at the best time. And this is going to get the AI thinking in a slightly different method where we're not just going at it for the 10 methods that I gave you at the beginning of the episode. It's really going to start looking at the core value of why somebody would want to pay for this thing. This is where the money is going to be. This is where you're going to be able to actually retain a lot of your subscribers, is by providing things like real-time market insights and trade alerts. That might mean that this week you're selling NVIDIA and you want to explain why. Well, if you want that explanation and if you want to know what the next stock is going to be that you're going to invest in, assuming you're a financial advisor and you're authorized to give that advice, this could be a really powerful way and a very compelling way to get people in the door. Early access to episodes, again, this has more importance with it now because we're talking about something that is based on news and the economy, and things are constantly changing in this realm. You can wake up on Monday morning and the stock price might be very different than it was Friday at 4 o'clock, especially when you get into crypto stuff where there is no set time that these things are being traded. That early access might be a really compelling reason why somebody would want to subscribe. Premium news briefings and macro updates, that could be a subscriber-only weekly newsletter, a podcast episode. Basically the same thing as the early access. You're giving insider information into what it is that you're thinking and the knowledge that you've collated together, and you're offering that at a premium price. Exclusive member Q&A and portfolio reviews. You can start looking at people's portfolios and you can give them that insider edge that you might be looking to give. And you could even charge extra money just for that service where you actually funnel them to an actual business that you might run. Or you could provide that for free and just as a nice bonus for people. And it gives people a really simple way to come in because they don't have to be charged an arm and a leg for somebody to take a look. Of course, you have to be very careful with financial type stuff. Again, you should be licensed if that's something that you're going to do. Access to model portfolios and research reports. This might be a deep dive into the quarterly reports that the Fed puts out. It could be a deep dive into stock performance, the earnings calls from the last quarter, stuff like that. This is all really valuable stuff to the right person. So some low-hanging fruit ideas is you can provide an ad-free listening experience. That just means that you're giving them the full episode without any interruptions. You can offer private RSS feeds and premium podcast streams. That might be a bonus episode every week. Behind-the-scenes access. You might film B-roll of you in the creation process, filming, editing, producing the actual show. If you do interviews, it could be bonus interview content. You could do exclusive bonus or extended episodes, same thing. I think Breaking Points is a really good example of this. They're a YouTube channel that has been doing this for, I want to say, the better part of a year. Let me just pull them up for you. These guys, you could see them, they're on Spotify, they're on Apple Podcasts, so they have a podcast, and then they do news coverage. So they have a 1.4 million following on YouTube. And when you go to their website, it's really you supporting them on an annual basis. What are you willing to provide for a year? And you kind of name your own price. I think that's kind of nice. You could give early access to episodes. That might mean that you make everybody wait a week before you put everything out. You could give access to a private community. People like Meet Kevin offer this. It's more of like a Discord server where you can go in and get access to him when you're not just watching his YouTube channels. There's different chat rooms and different support from different people that can help you with your stock trading and real estate and stuff like that. You can also offer Q&A sessions where you will just talk to the audience directly, allow them to ask you questions, and allow them to get insider knowledge into what you have to offer outside of what your regular content might be. How you investigate things, how you choose an episode, stuff like that. You can also offer educational deep dives and mini courses. And I think this is a really untapped market because you can be teaching people how to do things. And this is one of the larger bullet points that I want to talk about because this is actionable stuff that you can give people where they will actually learn how to do things. Meet Kevin is a perfect example of this because he has a course that he sells and you can actually make a lot of money doing it. I'll pull up his website right here, unaffiliated with him, but he gives you trading challenge and options alerts like what he's doing. It's an inside look at what he's actually trading, tax strategies, real estate, building brands and stuff, marketing and making money in 2025. This guy does it, and he's selling these different courses. These are all different courses that he offers, and you can consider this as your premium content where you're teaching people how to negotiate real estate, how to do YouTube and social media, property management, all the different facets that he's intimately knowledgeable about, he's sharing through these programs. And you can do that with your podcast as well. You can also offer premium research, show notes, and transcripts. If you have a larger podcast, something that's like 2 to 3 hours long, maybe even 4 hours long, a transcript might be really helpful for somebody trying to understand the inner workings of the conversation. Now, I would be careful with that one because I believe that a transcript will actually boost your SEO for your website in a major, major way. So I would be careful about hiding a transcript behind a paywall. However, that could provide a lot of value to your audience. And then last but not least, we have the merch, discounts, and VIP perks. If you have a podcast that is more surrounding fashion and up-to-date things that people would buy, like hats and shirts and shoes and stuff, you can offer early access to these items. You can actually charge a premium for that, and you can provide them with coupon codes and different things like that, giveaways, and entice the user to want to be part of that inner club. So to tie this together, there are tons of ways that you can monetize a podcast. Premium content is just a small piece of the puzzle. And if you want to learn more, please head over to my website, podcastpontifications.com, join the mailing list, and I'll see you next time.